Do you know which Chief Justice this is? I'll bet you don't. This is our 16th Chief Justice, William Rehnquist, who is remembered as one of the most successful Chief Justices of the Supreme Court. Rehnquist was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1924. Rehnquist's parents were William Benjamin Rehnquist, a conservative Republican that was a sales manager for a printing equipment and paper sales office, and his mother was Marjorie Peck Rehnquist, who was a director for a small insurance company and a local civic activist. Rehnquist graduated from Shorewood High School and briefly attended Kenyon College for one semester. He then joined the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II, where he never saw any combat, but was stationed in North Africa as a weather observer. After the war, Rehnquist attended Stanford University, where he received a Bachelor of Arts and a Master of Arts in Political Science. Rehnquist then attended Harvard University, where he received another Master of Arts in Government. Eventually, Rehnquist returned to Stanford and graduated from the Stanford Law School, where he met Sandra Day O'Connor, who would later serve on the Supreme Court with him, and during their time at Stanford, they briefly dated. After 16 years in private practice, Rehnquist moved back to Washington, D.C. to serve as a Deputy Attorney General for the Justice Department when Richard Nixon won the presidency in 1968. Nixon eventually named Rehnquist as an Associate Justice on the Supreme Court. In 1986, when Chief Justice Warren Burger retired, Ronald Reagan named Rehnquist as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Rehnquist, as a controversial conservative justice, ruled on several landmark cases, including Texas versus Johnson, Kelo versus City of New London, and Roe versus Wade, where he wrote a dissenting opinion on the majority decision to make abortion legal. Rehnquist, as a conservative justice, was often referred to as the Lone Ranger because of his tendency to be on the opposite side of the majority decisions in the Supreme Court. After 33 years in service in the Supreme Court, Rehnquist was diagnosed with thyroid cancer but refused to retire and remained Chief Justice until his death in September 2005.
Whitney versus California by Alex Lim. She was a member of the Communist Labor Party. The Communist Labor Party believed in violence and overthrowing the U.S. government. Although she didn't act upon her beliefs, she was a delegate, which meant she was a representation and a warning to the others. On October 6, 1925, Charlotte Anita Whitney was convicted of the 1919 California Syndicalism Act. The Syndicalism Act was a doctrine or precept advocating acts of force and violence as a means of accomplishing a change in industrial ownership or control, or affecting any political change which in case the Communist Labor Party was doing. She argued that her free speech was violated. She said that she never showed any signs of violence or preparations to overthrow the U.S. government. She was simply speaking what she believed in. She also argued that her First and 14th Amendment rights were violated. In the First Amendment, it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an established of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peacefully to assemble, and the pension of the government for redress of grievance. The 14th Amendment, it says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state where therein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any persons of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any persons within its jurisdictions the equal protection of the law. The courts discussed whether or not her freedom of speech could be limited by the California Syndicalism Act of 1919. California argued that she was clearly in violation of the California Syndicalism Act and that she was abusing her First and 14th Amendment rights. They also said the Communist Labor Party are a clear present danger to the public welfare. The courts ruled in a 9-0 vote that she was guilty and upheld her conviction. The court said a state may punish those who abuse this freedom by utterance tending to endanger the foundations of organized government and threatening to overthrow by unlawful means. A few months after the court ruling ended, California governor pardoned Whitney. Results may have been different if it was in a different period. America disliked the thought of communism, and at the time of the Red Scare, it was not ideal. This is my works cited.